Tana Cañas is the arts director at Rise Refugee, Australia's first aid and advocacy organization to be run and governed by refugees, asylum seekers, and ex-detainees. She is a second-year PhD student at the University of Melbourne and sits on the editorial board for the International PTO Academic Journal. Her one-scene monologue script, Untouchable, was published with Currency Press Australia 2013. Please give a big round of applause for Miss Tana Cañas.
Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. Pardon? Oh, no, I'm not from the Philippines. No, not Cambodia. No, I've never been back to Thailand. I've never even been to Thailand. But, you know, I have a lot of Asian friends. I like noodles. I can use chopsticks. I'm a big fan of ramen, so yeah, okay, I'll tell you I'm Asian. You know, Asian by association. El Salvador. A place I had to explain. A place that drew confused faces and a barrage of questions. Central America. No, not literally the center of the United States of America. No, what you're pointing at now is Africa? Okay, so there's North America, and then there's South America, and there's a piece of land that connects them both. No, it's not just Mexico. No, not Peru, you've gone too far. But even the World News Weather Report in Australia overlooks El Salvador, so what can I expect? Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. El Salvador to me? Fatty foods, failed revolutions, an 80s time warp of bad hair and bad clothes, as well as the infamous La Mara Salvatrucha gang, you know? Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. I'm heading back for the first time in 23 years and sitting next to a man with a pudgy nose. He asks me about my passport. Oh, it's Australian. Australia. A place I didn't have to explain, but a title I always had to fight for, and I've been living there for most of my life. Turbulence. I should have spent the extra $200 on the Thaka flight. Pudgy Nose looks at me. Australian passport. In El Salvador, that makes you untouchable. We land amidst the thick, lush grass and coconut trees. There's no city in sight, a contrast to JFK, LA, and Melbourne airports. There is one very small, very underwhelming sign in a blue and white color scheme that looks like it's been taken straight out of word art. El Salvador. I look to the right of my aircraft window, and there's a man in a cowboy hat calmly strolling through the grass, with a machete in one hand and a half-eaten apple in the other. The local lawnmower, suggests Pudgy Nose. All this is different to the grainy black and white photos, the British voiceover documentaries, and the rare tales told on a whim by relatives. What I see in front of me is alive. It's moving, it's constantly changing. Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. I step off the plane to be greeted by an air hostess who takes one look at my Australian passport and says, Bienvenida, señorita Cañas. She says my name right. That never happens in Australia. It's Cañas, not can-us. Yeah. Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. I get given a tourist card. I look for a table and can't find one, so I head to the nearest wall and fish for a pen. I suddenly feel a large presence hanging over me. Laced up leather boots that reach halfway up his calf, a baton on one hip, pistol on the other, a cap perfectly positioned on his head. Oh my God, he thinks I'm writing on the wall. I'm not graffitiing. I was just trying to look for a pen, and then I couldn't find a table, and I was just standing here really. Can I see your passport? Stern, unmoving. I can't read his face. It's giving nothing away. Are you by any chance Elena Cañas? Three thoughts flashed through my mind. The Australian Secret Police has put my name on the no-fly list. My passport's a fake, and someone's planted drugs in my bag. It turns out he's been sent by my uncle to look out for me. He was told to look out for an Asian. Not an Asian, a dark Asian. I guess he got it right, because he found me. Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one. The customs officer automatically points to the alien queue, the Australian queue. There are 3 guys with large surfboards under their arms and an elderly couple. No one comes to El Salvador unless you're a surfer or visiting family. He then points to the queue for Salvadorians, a line 4 times as long and 4 times as slow-moving. I look to the people in that line. They're short, dark, have barely any necks, and thick black hair, just like me. I feel the sweat trickle down my back. Airport, 2 queues. I'm told to pick one.